Today, I have such a special guest with me, one of my amazing VBAC Lab mamas who is also a part of our Calm Mama Society and a part of my heart. She's here to share her powerful birth story with us. I'm not going to give it away. And I know it's going to inspire so many of you guys who might be sitting there feeling fear or doubt or wondering if a VBAC is even possible for you guys. When she first joined us, I remember, and I can't wait to start talking to her. She's sitting here with me right now. But when she first joined, like she was carrying like some weight of that first birth and questions. And what I love so much about her is that she took charge. And I'm going to let her tell you a lot of that. So let's dive in and hear her journey from the beginning to having her VBAC to being a part of our community. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello.
How are you today? I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for coming.
I'm glad to be here.
I love it. So this is Jennifer. She's one of my VBAC Lab students. And what I would love for you to do, I would love for you to kind of go back and share just a little, because you know my pregnant mamas don't like to listen to long podcasts. But tell us a little bit about your first birth, and then how I can't even remember at this point because you've been with us for so long. How did you find the VBAC Lab, and like what made you, like what planted that seed? Like, did you know for sure you wanted to have a VBAC? Like, tell us all those things.
Yeah, so I had my first baby in January of 2023, and I was planning on doing the whole going natural, and I did what I thought my body needed to prepare for that. And when I went into labor, things were going well. I was conquering those contractions, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is nothing, this is nothing. And then after being awake for so long, I'm like so tired. I'm like, I just need to sleep. So I got the epidural, I slept, and then after 39 hours, I ended up in a C-section due to being stalled at 8 centimeters. And when he came out, my OB had a hard time getting him out of my incision. Like, oh, this is a big baby. He was 10 pounds, 10 ounces. And so I'm just like,
You don't mess around, girl.
no. And so I'm like, okay, apparently this wasn't supposed to happen vaginally, but I knew that I wanted to still have that experience of having a baby vaginally.
Mhm.
And so I saw you on Instagram, and I knew in the back of my mind when I was still recovering from James that like when I'm pregnant, I'm going to get the VBAC Lab, and I'm going to prepare for a VBAC. So when I got pregnant with my second, I joined the Fearless Birth Week, and I joined the VBAC Lab then when I was like 9 weeks pregnant. And I was there for all the VBAC Lab hangouts because
I know. Yeah.
I knew that I needed to have that extra support and knowledge to be able to navigate me through
Yeah.
my upcoming birth for my second child.
So I love this because you knew that you wanted a VBAC like right from the get-go, right?
Yeah.
And you had already seen like me talking about the VBAC Lab, and you're like, yes, this is for me. But what I really love is like you were so involved.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love for you to even share, because it wasn't just the VBAC Lab. It wasn't just coming to the pregnancy hangouts. You also went to a chiropractor. Like you did more things.
Yeah. So after I had my firstborn, I had with the C-section, there's a lot of things that you can address. I had painful intercourse, low back was so painful, just sitting
Mhm.
down, and I just knew I needed to do something more. And I reached out to a pelvic floor physical therapist, and I learned how to relax my pelvic floor, how to strengthen those muscles to help have my pelvic floor be in the optimal state.
Yeah.
So, and I got to the point after my first pregnancy, or after my first postpartum journey, I did that for 9 months, and then I was good because I had my exercises and I was doing that. And then when I got pregnant again, I went back, and it's been a whole journey because the person I went to before, she was no longer doing it in the office and I wasn't able to see her. So I had to seek someone else out. So I asked a friend and I went to her for a couple of months, and
Yeah.
she was good at the very beginning. And one thing that I really learned from her is that my pelvis was out. And she
Hmm.
told me that's why you couldn't dilate to 10, because with a big baby, like there's just no room for that. And so I
Like
knew that.
explain that a little bit more for
So
everyone listening.
because you have your pelvis bone that holds in
Yeah.
all of your pelvic floor and stuff. And so she would adjust that, and there'd be like a crack. And it was and it's so interesting because even doing like internal work for pelvic floor, like, because they do a clock. So like 8
Hmm.
and 9 were my problem areas that was like really tender or hurt a little bit. Once my pelvic floor was, or my pelvis was in, that spot wasn't tender anymore. So that's when I knew, I'm like, okay, like my pelvis is in,
All right then.
because
Yeah.
yeah, because that's another indicator
Yeah.
to figure that out for how she does that. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. And like I went to her, and then I started getting like persistent low back pain. And I was thinking she was doing too much for me. And so I found another physical therapist, which was even better. And so,
Yeah.
like, so if you go and you're not seeing the results you think you should be, or you just think something's
Yeah.
off, like it's okay to go find
Hmm.
something else and better for what your body needs. And I was
Yeah.
seeing a chiropractor the whole time, and like I've seen this chiropractor and for my neck, because my neck would have problems, but he really didn't mess with like my pelvis. And so I went to him, but like every week, like the last 3 weeks I was pregnant, and I really didn't see, I felt like my baby was just struggling. And so, and not being
And
able
are we talking
to
about baby one or two?
to
Or t-
to
I
because I
thought so. Okay.
did,
I just wanted to
yeah,
clarify.
because I
Yeah.
did the same chiropractic for my first pregnancy too. And like honestly, I do believe, because when the doctor said my pelvis was out, like inside, I truly believed that was what
That was your
was
reason.
not reason. And
Yeah.
so when baby number two, when due date was coming, and I was like, this is not working as well. And so I have a cousin who does chiropractic, so like chiropractic and muscles. And I was like,
Yeah.
I talked to my cousin, I'm like, hey, I am 40 weeks, 5 days. Like, I feel like my baby's stuck and can't, like, my pelvis, like, my body isn't open.
Yeah.
Can I come see you? Like, is it safe to come see you and do that? And he's like, oh, yeah, totally. And so I went to him. He spent 40 minutes on me, doing all the adjustments, all the things. And then he's like, go home and take a nap and relax and don't stress about it. And so I did
Yeah.
that. And then 3 hours later, after that appointment, I started labor, and it went, because I had prodromal labor with my
Yeah. I
second. And so I was
remember.
like,
Yeah.
oh, is it going to happen? But it would always stop. And so that's why I was thinking my baby is stuck.
Is
Like, I
trying
can't.
but can't. Yeah.
It's, mhm. And like, I need to do something for my body. And that was
Hmm.
the missing piece for my body that I needed. So it's just really learning what your body needs. And I think taking care of your body postpartum, and like really learning is like, oh, like, I feel like I need to eat something, like I feel deficient in something, and making sure
Yeah.
you're getting those things your body needs and help even recovery. And so, and
Hmm.
that intuition helped me figure out, okay, my body needs to go see this chiropractor, so
Yeah.
then hopefully things will start happening. So,
Yeah. I need to have a chiropractor on the podcast
yeah.
and talk about
So,
some of this. Like that's,
yeah.
well, and if you think about it, like if your pelvis was out of whack in any way,
Mhm.
the muscles would start accommodating for that. So if you're
Yeah.
adjusting that and those muscles are not getting adjusted or stretched or whatever needs to happen, because this is obviously not my specialty, but it makes sense if that hammock is like off whack. So the baby can't like actually, because I tell you guys, whoever's listening right now, like the whole kit and caboodle starts when the baby's head gets down into the pelvis, puts pressure on the cervix, which sends signals to the brain, and like the whole thing starts rolling. So if something is off even slightly, that the baby can't get down in there and get engaged and put pressure on the cervix, it can just throw a wrench in the whole process.
Yeah.
So I love that. And I love how like, what a go-getter you are. Like she's not messing around, y'all. Like there's no messing around here. Like she's doing it. So I would love to ask you about your experience, like during the pregnancy, being a part of the VBAC Lab, being a part of the Hangouts. Like what are some of the ways that you felt it helped you feel more confident or supported or like whatever?
Yeah. So I think one thing that helped with hanging out with other pregnant mommies is having their experience too, and what led them, especially in the VBAC Lab, what led them to their C-section. And like, okay, these could have been avoided if we did this and this and this and this. And so one of the VBAC moms that was in our hangout, she was misdiagnosed with hypertension because she had high blood pressure. But one time,
I know exactly who you're talking about. I ain't saying names, but I know.
Yeah.
I think she's already been on the podcast though.
Yeah.
I believe.
So the one time, and she didn't ask to get it rechecked, when she went to the hospital to get induced, her blood pressure was totally fine. And so I had a hard time with the blood pressure the last 3 weeks of pregnancy. Yeah. And it's hard because like I checked it at home and it was totally fine. And I felt like when I told my providers that, like they didn't believe me. They just dismissed
that. They dismissed that. Like,
yeah. And so when I was exactly my due date, 40 weeks, I had appointment, high blood pressure again. I peed in a cup, and my midwife diagnosed me with preeclampsia. And again, it's just, you have to know your body and what feels right and what feels wrong. And I'm like, that's not true. Like my placenta is good. Like it gives baby a lot of nutrition. Like
my
I have
placenta
big babies.
Is not dying.
Yeah. And so
what other signs do we have here besides your one reading?
Yeah. And I asked her, I was like, how was my urine? And she's like, oh, that's fine. And then I asked for blood work, and she's like, honestly, like I wouldn't, because we can get your blood work and then it would take days, and I wouldn't want to risk that. I'm like, okay, I understand. And so they're like, we're going to call the hospital. You can go in and get induced. And I'm like, okay, let's step on the brakes a little bit and reassess. Yeah. And so I went home. I talked to my husband about it, basically cried. And it's so funny because I had a chiropractic appointment that day too. And so I went to his office and I asked him to take my blood pressure, and it was totally fine. And then I came back home.
I think I remember all of this because you were sharing all of that with us too. Yeah.
And I had the labor back signal. So I had you guys.
That's right. I remember you sharing all this, and we're like, come on. Yeah. Yeah.
And,
the pocket doulas.
Yeah. So I had my chiropractor take my blood pressure, totally normal. Like I came home. Fine, it was after 5. And so I knew my OB was going to be on call that evening because that's what they told me when I was in the office. And so I gave her a call, and she's like, why aren't you at the hospital? I'm like, oh, let's talk about this for a little bit. Yeah. And so we had a conversation, and she told me her concerns, and I validated them. And I was like, okay, like I will go to the hospital tonight, but I do not want to be checked in a room, because I knew if I got checked in, they weren't going to let me go.
Game down. Yeah. Game is on. Yeah.
And so I was like, I want to go into triage. I want you to monitor baby. I want you to do the blood test and the urine sample and the blood pressure. And so I went in, obviously very nervous, because it's just like, oh, because I knew
Yeah.
deep inside that like my body still wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And
And then you're fearing going back to the OR again.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I went in, they did all the tests. Like, of course, blood pressure was high at the beginning, but it
Yeah.
went down. And like the nurse that was in triage was like, "Oh, your baby's showing off and he's doing super well." And I'm like, I
Yeah.
knew it. I knew it. And then I had a follow-up appointment at the OB's office 2 days later with a different midwife. And it was awesome because she made sure I didn't feel stressed or anxiety. And she's like, okay,
Yeah.
like you get changed and then like listen to the song, hold hubby's hand, and I'll come in
Yeah.
and take your blood pressure. And it was totally fine.
Oh, I
Totally fine.
love that. What an amazing midwife.
Yeah. And then it was a couple of days later when I actually went into labor and was in the hospital. So, and it's so funny because the midwife that misdiagnosed me with preeclampsia is the one who delivered my baby. And I had to really fast like forgive her because I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
because you
like,
didn't need that in the room. Yeah.
yeah. And so
I love
I'm
that.
like, okay, this is happening and you're the one who's on call. So
Yeah. So what I love about this story, and for those of you guys listening, I know if you're new here, you haven't heard that, but one of the things that sets me apart from everyone else that has a birth course online, besides 16 years of labor and delivery experience and having 6 births myself, is that we do what we call our pregnancy happy hours, our happy hour hangouts. And we have one specifically for the VBAC Lab. And then we have one that everyone, including the VBAC Lab students, can come to. And what Jennifer said, which we went into detail, is that being able to hear that mom's story and her regrets and how she navigated it allowed you to have the courage to say, hold up, step back, wait a minute. Like, you're not misdiagnosing me. But what I really also love about your story, Jennifer, and of course, I know you and I know your personalities. Jennifer can be a badass and she can be very firm, but she's also like has such a spirit of like peace. So you're not like, hell no, you're not doing this. Like you said, you affirmed them, you validated what they were saying, but you also stood your freaking ground.
mm-hmm.
And that's what I love about that, is that one of the things that I teach my students is we're not going to be like a-holes, right? We're not going to like be like, and I say this in the courses all the time, which you know, is like you can refuse anything, but should you? You're going to step back and assess a situation without emotions, because all of that probably triggered emotions. And like you had to step back and calm those emotions and then look at the evidence. Like baby is doing good, passing the NSTs. I had 1 blood pressure reading. My urine is good. Like I'm willing to meet you guys in the middle. I'm willing to come to the hospital because I'm not being crazy and like not being smart with this, but let's figure it out together. And I know you enough to know that if there was any other indications, you would have agreed to an induction.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because in the end, it's like as long as baby's healthy and I'm healthy, then. But if baby wasn't fine, then it would have been an induction. So
right. And that's the key right there, because people will say all the time, like, the most important thing is baby's healthy and mom's healthy. Yes, that is very important. But there's also an importance to having autonomy and making decisions and not being told you have to do A, B, and C when you're educated and like you understand. Here's the deal. The reason your midwife was, or your doctor was probably so shocked, is that not many moms get told to go to the hospital for an induction and they don't. That doesn't happen. Like that does not happen. But I tell you guys, we don't send out the induction police to get you. Like you can say no, and like you can pause and you can take a moment. And now for those of you guys listening, obviously I'm not your medical provider. I don't know your situation there, and I teach my mamas, like there are indications, like if your provider comes running in, she's frantic, she's calling in a team, and like you can read the room. Like there are situations where you don't mess around. And I'm sure had they done that, then you maybe might not have agreed to induction, but you would have went straight to the hospital. So like there's wisdom, and that's why you have to be educated. Do you feel like you could have made all those decisions if you hadn't joined us and you hadn't spent time in the hangouts or with the other moms?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because I would
I
have
mean,
just been a ball of anxiety and like, apparently my blood pressure is awful.
yeah, I have to go. The baby's compromised. Like now,
Yeah.
yeah. And that, like, who in their right mind, if they honestly think baby's not doing well, of course we're going to do what they say.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that's not always the case. So I had a couple other questions I wrote down. Let's
Yeah, I
see.
know you asked about like how it is having like two or like the second one in the
Yes,
pregnancy chat.
yes.
So I don't know if
That
you want
is
to go into that.
Yes, I forgot about that, but I do. For
Yeah.
those of you guys listening, one of the things that I had put a request out in our membership, because I have the most amazing moms in the world in my membership who are so loving and so graceful and just amazing to one another and funny. You guys are out of this world funny. Like one of the things that we had a conversation recently, and I wanted to hear from them was, and maybe we'll end up doing a part two, I don't know. But one of the things that I know a lot of people don't talk about is those feelings that you feel. And I know your story in particular about this. So I would love for you to talk about going into having baby number two and maybe even like, because I'm not sure you anticipated how you were going to feel.
Yeah.
Did you?
Oh, it was so much harder than I thought it would be because I was planning on getting pregnant after my son turned 1 year old, and it happened that month. And my boys are 21 months apart. Me and my sister are 21 months apart. And we have a really good relationship, and it's nice to have that buddy. And so I was like, my mom did it, so I can do it too. It
Yeah.
was so hard. I feel like one of the, like, even being pregnant is feeling guilt because you don't have any energy
Yeah.
and you just kind of lost this, like, I'm so sorry I can't play with you like I used to because I'm sick and they're
Yeah,
trying
you
to grow
feel
this
like crap,
other
you're
baby.
tired. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And my like toddler's just like, play with me. And I was his favorite person in the whole world. And
yeah.
that has changed. And it's now my husband, which is awesome to see. But it's
How
kind
is
of
that
like,
for you?
it's a little sad because I'm like, oh, he used to always want me, but now
Yeah,
he always wants dad. But I think it's really awesome because it's like their relationship is growing and
yeah,
becoming this beautiful masterpiece. And I love the relationship my husband has
yeah,
with our boys. And I think the thing that was hard, because it wasn't like the first time, because when you have baby number one, it's just you and the baby and all the time of the world.
yeah. And
And
you just get to dote on the baby and yeah,
yeah, but when you have a toddler and a baby, you don't have all the time in the world. You're tired,
yeah,
you're more tired. Like my first one sleeps wonderfully. The second one not so well.
yeah,
And I still haven't slept trained him because I'm not ready for that with
yeah,
breast milk and stuff and like losing
yeah,
that nightly feed. And so I'm more tired still. He had different challenges, and that was really hard to like navigate and to do because he had a lip tie, tongue tie, and just the things
hmm,
the care and exercises you have to do 6 weeks after that release, and not spending time as much with my toddler as I used to, and him being
and you
jealous
missed
of the
it.
baby. Yes. And just and then like I'm trying to like make sure everyone's needs are met. And then I'm
Yeah,
left here. And I'm like, what about me? Like, what about my needs?
yeah,
Like, I wasn't able to have time for myself or do the things that I need to do to feel like a person and
yeah.
accomplished. And so it definitely took a couple months, but I feel like after doing it and
You're about to
just
have me crying.
yeah. After doing it and figuring it out, like my boys have such a great relationship. My oldest wants to get a hug and kiss from the youngest, my baby, every time he goes
Yeah,
to bed or every time someone. goes. And so, and they like, my baby's 9 months old. And so they're like playing with toys together and just like doing things together. And just, they're just buddy buddy. And so, like, yeah, it was hard to be like, hey, oldest, we have this new baby. You're supposed to love him and he's going to be your brother, and kind of like force
But he's
that
also
on him.
interrupting your life. Yeah.
Yeah, your perfect life you had before this baby
Yeah.
came in. But I feel like after the whole adjustment period and just figuring that out, like it's really good. Because I used to have my husband read my toddler stories while I fed and put the baby down for a nap, because he
Yeah.
would come in and be distracting. And I'm like, I can't set him to sleep if you're here playing with toys and like tugging
Yeah.
at me and stuff. So, but now it's like, oh yeah, mom's feeding baby. Like, I'm gonna do my
He's
own
used to that
thing.
now.
Or
Yeah.
he comes and like lays down on Liam and they snuggle while he's eating, and it's so cute. So
Yeah. And side note, because we completely skipped over the fact that you did get a VBAC.
yes. Oh yeah.
Thank God,
Successful
right? Can
feedback.
you
Yeah.
imagine if you had to recover from a
Yeah.
C-section and go through all those things you
Yeah.
went through? That would have been really difficult. Not that you couldn't have done it, because I know
Yeah.
you could have done
Hmm.
it. So in the beginning, like emotionally, because I know that you went through a lot of guilt, and like, I hope you don't mind me saying this because I feel like it needs to be said, like some resentment towards the baby for
Yeah.
disrupting, and I know that there were times I went through that when I had a more like difficult newborn or what have you.
Hmm.
And just like the rhythm of my life was so disrupted. And especially, I don't know about you, but like I felt like, oh, it's no big deal. I'm about to adjust really quickly and I'll be
Yeah.
the one that can do all that. And then there's this little person. And I've said to you guys before, like, the fact that it's this like new person, we don't know them, we love them. We're not saying we don't love them, but they come in and they turn your world upside down. And to think that we won't have some anger or resentment or feelings, but then as a mom, you then beat yourself up. So it's like this horrible cycle.
Hmm. Yeah. So
Can you
yeah,
explain some of that?
it was definitely hard, like, because he was pretty good at breastfeeding, and then like after 3 weeks, because that's when they have their first growth spurt, he would have a more difficult time feeding, and he'd be a lot more like whiny and like at the breast, and that's just not fun to hear. And
Yeah.
like, come on, just like, and it's hard because it's like I just breastfed my other one like not a couple months like ago when he stopped at
Yeah.
15 months. And so I'm like, it's not that, come on.
Yeah. What is the problem here? Yeah.
And so, and I had to, it's like that figuring out. It's like, okay, like there's something wrong with your body and you're struggling. And so trying to navigate, okay, I went to do chiropractic care, still had problems. Let me go see a lip tie tongue tie specialist. And so went there, had all the ties, got
Yeah.
them released. Obviously, it was an overnight fix because you have to do exercises 4 to 6 hours for
Did you have to go see other
6 weeks.
specialists too? Like different
No, so
modalities or?
thankfully here where I live, there's a breastfeeding office, and the main gal is a nurse practitioner who does the
Okay.
releases herself. So I
Oh,
didn't have to
wow.
go see a dentist to
Okay.
get those ties released. And so it was a really easy process.
It's still a lot.
Yeah, but it's still a lot. Like they were in Scottsdale, so I had to drive 35 minutes to go there, and
Yeah.
just making sure someone had my toddler while I
Yeah.
did that. And yeah, and it's hard because it's like with my first, I felt like I was in like baby honeymoon heaven, even though I was recovering from a C-section, even though
Yeah.
we struggled with breastfeeding for the first couple of weeks, and he took 3 weeks to gain his birth weight and stuff. I was still like, oh my goodness, this baby is amazing. I love him.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think I could love something this much. And I was
Yeah.
just like in heaven. And I'm like, oh, you want me to hold your baby? Like, no, I'm good. I will hold my baby. And
Yeah.
And that
And it was
wasn't,
different the second time around.
yeah, because I'm just like, I'm tired. And I felt like
Yeah.
once I got my toddler down and I just had time with my baby, I just didn't want to spend it with him. And so I
Yeah.
didn't like
And then you felt
interact that
guilty.
much. And then, yeah, because I'm like, I need some me time. Like, let me just like do something real quick. And like, he's a
Yeah.
baby. He's usually fine laying there for
Yeah.
like 10 minutes. And so, but it wasn't like, oh, let me play with you and interact with you and talk with you and do these things.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, definitely different. And it was hard because I'm like, why is it like, why am I not in baby heaven? Because I'm like, I
Yeah.
wanted to be in baby heaven, like this, like new
Yeah.
baby, the cutest thing ever. And like those feelings were not there. And it was so hard. I'm like, I knew I still loved him because
Yeah.
I wouldn't do all these things to help him to have like a good life
Yeah.
because I'm like with the lip tie, tongue tie, and then found out that he's like dairy and soy free, and so I had
Yeah.
to change. I have to change my whole diet
Yeah.
in order for him to have like a happy tummy, and so and like that's a
Yeah.
lot. Like I'm sacrificing a lot for my
Do you
baby.
think that maybe it's the rules and the things we put on ourselves on what it's supposed to look like each time? And you know what I mean?
I think
there's literally
we
nothing.
paint a picture of how it's supposed to
Yeah.
be, and then when it's not like that, then it's really hard
We
because
think we're
then
wrong. And we think
yeah,
we're wrong. Like we did
yeah,
something wrong because I'm hearing you and like there's literally nothing wrong with the fact that you were craving some me time. Like that is important. Like it's like, the whole thing on the plane when they're like, put the oxygen mask on you first before,
hmm
and like if you aren't filling that need in some way, at some point that house of cards is going to fall. So it's really, really important that you do have that time, even if it's 10, 15 minutes. And it's just different when you have a toddler and a baby. Like those days of just like being in baby heaven alone and doing your own thing. And like, because you had those opportunities when the baby was sleeping or whatever to feed you somewhat. But when you have a toddler, those opportunities never overlap. Like it's just always on, always
yeah,
demand,
yeah. And then
So
when you get a break, it's your husband gets one kid and you get the other, so you decide which
yeah,
one you want.
yeah,
Like, do I
it's not
want the
really a
crazy
break. Yeah,
toddler or the baby? And yeah, and
yeah,
so and that's
yeah.
how it is
So
with like bedtime routine because it's just like it's all hands on deck until they're both asleep. So.
yeah. How do you feel now? How are you acclimating now?
I feel like it's really good because I feel like I can go out with both of them because I am very spoiled with my husband working from home. So when baby
Yeah,
sleeps, I can just take the toddler out. And then I kind of felt
yeah,
bad because then my baby wasn't experiencing going out and doing things. And so, but I'm able to take them both out and not feel overwhelmed. I love the me time that I needed to spend while my toddler's napping and my baby's awake. I spend it with him because he's just such a joy to be with and like so happy and sometimes he just likes to go off and play and then when he's ready for mom he comes back to where I'm at and be like,
yeah,
okay mom, I'm ready. And
yeah,
so it's adorable and I think like in this phase of my life God knew I needed this baby at this age for the things I'm dealing with. And so
yeah. Because you've been through a lot this year.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And we won't go into all of that. But when I say she's been through a lot, her family has experienced a lot of loss and grief and confusion and all the things on top of postpartum and learning how to parent two babies and
yeah.
figuring out how to process your grief and be present as a
Yeah.
mom, which
And keep
is
on like life moves on. So
yeah, yeah. Life keeps lifing no matter what is happening. I've learned that the hard way too.
yeah.
So I adore you. And I just want you to know how we, the labor nurse mama team, are so proud
Mm,
of you. And like, I hope you know that. Like, we
yeah.
really are so proud of you
Yeah.
and we love you.
And it's nice
S-
having a community to go and rant and
Yeah, like to
and
bitch, to moan, to celebrate, to like whatever, like
to question too, because
yeah,
it's just like I'm experienced this. Like, has anyone done that? And
yeah,
then there's all these moms who are like, yes, this and this and
yeah,
this. And
yeah.
so,
That's what I love about the membership and why I've kept it so low cost. Because I've had business mentors or whatever. They're like, "Why you like you're there's so much value." Like, why? Like, no, I wanted to be one that moms. Like, I remember when it was just my husband working, and I
mhm,
was a stay-at-home mom, and like even $20 a month could be a struggle. So what I love about the community though is it's community led. Like you guys are feeding that community and you guys are leading one another. Obviously we're there. I can't keep up with y'all. I'll say that till I'm
yeah.
blue in the face. Like it moves way too fast for my old ass, but I like you guys have access to me on the calls, but I love just how you guys love on one another. And like, that was the dream and the picture I had was that there was a safe place for you guys to like be real and
Yeah.
like no mom shame at all. And we've had some moments where we've had to step in and like be like, hey, let's rein it in a little, but only like twice since I started the membership, I think. Really, honestly, that says a lot
No.
for that amount of moms, So
Yeah. And
I
we're
love
really
it.
good. And it's so funny because like one mom had an incident like preschool and all the moms were like, "Oh my goodness, I totally understand where you're coming from. I would be freaking out too. Like
Yeah.
you're not going
Yeah.
crazy for this
Yeah.
incident happening." So,
Yeah. And I love that because sometimes just to be able to come back to earth and like not lose it is to have someone else say, no, like, that's valid. That's valid what you're feeling. But for just to have someone to say, like, you're valid in what you're feeling. And like, I love even the husband rants sometimes that happen, or the mother in law, or the family member, or whatever is going on, or like with Ashley and you know who, and all of us like having our things to say. It's been really amazing. Okay, so we have been going on and on. We did two completely different episodes here, but one thing I would love to ask you, obviously, before we get off is looking back, do you feel like your investment in the VBAC Lab and in Calm Mama Society was like worth it?
oh yes.
And why?
Well, like the nice thing is like once you purchase a course, it's there forever. And so I plan on having one or two more after this. So
Yes.
I know.
I don't think I 100% knew that till right now.
No, no, like, yeah.
I'm so
So,
excited. Yes.
yeah, not anytime soon, probably like in 6 more
Okay.
months. And so we'll
Okay.
start trying
That's
again.
okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, because it's just, I knew the way I've heard you on social media and stuff, and the way you taught things and talked about things is an easy way to understand, even though you're not from the medical background.
Yeah.
And people like, and it's so funny because I asked that anesthesiologist, like, "Oh, what dose are you giving me? Like 9?" And he's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna give you 11." And I was like, "Are you in the medical field?" I'm like, "No, I just remember last time and like different things." And
Yeah.
so you're
Yeah.
like well equipped with the knowledge you need. And yeah, the community is great, but you also have like your bonus classes in there
Yeah.
with other professionals. And so,
Yeah.
no, have I gone through all of them? No.
There's so
Uh,
many.
yeah, but
There's
there's like
so many. Yeah.
good key ones
Mhm.
that I've watched like a couple of times because I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
I need this. And so
Yeah.
I need to figure this one out. And so
Yeah.
it's a nice resource too for that.
Yeah. What Jennifer's talking about is inside of Calm Mama Society. So some of you guys know that if you join my classes, you also get 30 days free inside of Calm Mama Society. And one thing that we've done recently is we've combined. So now it's the Calm Birth Bundle, and they get the VBAC Lab, they get the belly birth class, and they get Calm Labor Confident Birth class. So that way, God forbid, you are going for a vaginal birth and there's a legit reason for a C-section, and you find out maybe baby's breech or something's going on that you have to have a C-section, you've got the belly birth class. Or one of my moms going through calm labor, confident birth, ends up having a C-section. She's got the VBAC Lab ready to go. And we just felt like that would be just a great way to like kind of package it so that they get everything.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you so much for coming. And thank you
it
for
was
being a
great
part
seeing
of our
you.
community. We just adore you and we're so happy you're here. Thank you again. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And what I love most about this conversation is that it shows the full picture. Yes, preparing for VBAC takes knowledge, tools, and confidence, but it doesn't stop there. Becoming a mom of two brings a whole new set of challenges. So we kind of mismatched this conversation, but I wanted you guys to hear how she navigated both the birth and the transition, and reminding you that none of this has to be done alone, because her story, Jennifer's story, is proof that when you invest in yourself, you surround yourself with the right support, and you get equipped with the right tools, you not only change your birth, you change how you step into motherhood, no matter what stage you're at. So if her journey resonated with you, I want to invite you into the same spaces that supported her. As you heard in our conversation, if you join us, you can join our Calm Labor Birth Bundle, and you're going to get the whole kit and caboodle: Calm Labor Confident Birth course, the VBAC Lab. You'll also get the Belly Birth Masterclass, and you'll get my brand new Calm Labor Birth Pod, which is a podcast style birth class. And right now we're also doing a special where you'll get my companion class bundle, which is our Newborn Academy, our Postpartum Recovery, and the birth coach class. So you're going to get everything in one swoop. You'll also get 30 days free in Calm Mama Society, which is our community that's going to walk you through pregnancy up to 2 years postpartum, because we know you deserve to feel calm, prepared, and supported, no matter how many little ones you're juggling. And we just adore you guys. We love you. As always, hit subscribe, leave a review, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.